What's up, guys, and welcome back to Titan's Review. I'm your host, Titan, and today we're finally going to go over Silver Surfer Black. Well, it's time to talk about Norrin Radd and what's going on with him. And thank you for coming back to my channel. And remember to like and subscribe to my channel. I need you guys to subscribe to my channel, so please look out, help me out a little bit. And let's begin, okay? And now we left off with Guardians of the Galaxy #1. I had to go with Guardians of the Galaxy #1 with you guys, just in order to know, for you guys to realize what's going on in the cosmos. And we last left off with them battling in Guardians of the Galaxy, battling against this singularity's gravitational pull, and everyone was getting sucked in to the wormhole right there because of the Black Order. Now, everyone except for Beta Ray Bill, Silo Bell, and a couple other heroes made it out the singularity, holding on to none other than Stormbreaker and the chains of Sidorak tied around it. But and we left off there. So we begin in Silver Surfer Black with Silver Surfer talking about the many names that he's been called. And he's basically reminiscing to when he first began Galactus Herald right there. And he says, my name is Norrin Radd, orphan son of Zen-La. Though I have been known by many other names. And he continues on to call himself Death, and some call him Darkness, because he's the Herald of Galactus. Galactus needed basically in order for Galactus to survive in space and all that, he feeds on life energy. Basically, all the planets, the energy, the people that are on the planets, he eats them. He just sucks them in and flies up to the planet. But the job of the Silver Surfer is to fly out and find these planets for him in order to feed himself. He also continues to go on and talk about basically how he brought death upon many lives. He tears up a bit, remembering and reminiscing on what's going on as he flies through the darkness of that wormhole that he's stuck in. Because remember, guys, he never got out of the wormhole during the Guardians of the Galaxy comic book. Finally, he realizes, he kind of wakes up and realizes that, hey, I'm in this black hole, and he's summoning all his wits back to him, you know what I'm saying? So he shows what's going on inside the black hole that we weren't able to see in the Guardians of the Galaxy. Basically, he is going through all of that, and he grabs onto the chains of Sidorak. And you see them flying around. You see Cosmic Ghost Rider flying around with them. So basically, Silver Surfer flies out, grabs onto Stormbreaker and the chains of Sidorak. He ties them together, and he flings it out of the wormhole, which in order to save a couple of the heroes that were there, which was Beta Ray Bill, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Silent Bell, a lot of other people. I'm not going to go through all the names, but he saves them in that way. But as he's surfing through this wormhole, and his body is just miscontorting, and he's going through time warps and all this stuff, and the art is great. You see him, he's going through all this, but he's still trying to save all the other heroes because he's the only one with cosmic awareness and the ability to use the cosmic powers that he has to control basically what's going on in this black hole, in this singularity. Now, we have other heroes in the singularity as well, but they weren't able to grab onto the chains of Sidorak like Beta Ray Bill and the others. So Beta Ray Bill and the others are still stuck back at where the Black Order is and all that stuff. But he does. He has other ones that they're basically. He says they're about to die inside here, and they don't even know it, but they're still alive. You know. So he fights and he gathers up all his powers cosmic in order to save these few remaining heroes. And as you can see, he drops them off somewhere in time. Because we know they're in space. But since it's a black hole, you got to remember that that Rosenstein bridge, which folds the universe, the theory of black holes being some kind of warp zone, you know. But he basically allows them to fall out of this wormhole safely, but he doesn't know what time or where in space they're dropped off at. But that one continues on in Guardians of the Galaxy Annual #1. So if you guys want to continue on with that story, you guys could go check that one out. But as we go through, and Silver Surfer, finally he saves all these guys, but he's the last one still stuck in this abysmal black hole singularity that's he's stuck in. He's already mustered up all the strength that he needed to be able to save all the rest of the guys. And you see he's falling through nothingness, just falling. He goes on to explain that he's been falling for years. So you got to imagine that this cosmic being, even though time goes like this for him, because time really doesn't matter for Silver Surfer, he's a cosmic being. He's the Herald of Galactus. But he states he's years falling for eons. And he musters it. He sees all the stars dwindling around him. They're dimming out. They're dying out. They're too far. There's nothing close to him. No life whatsoever for him to find. So he's like, he musters up all the little power that he has left, and he summons his board. You know, our boy Norrin Rad, he summons his board because he sees a planet out in the distance, and he states basically that this planet is eons. And when I say eons, that means like years, like light years away from where he's at the moment in the forever darkness right now. Because remember, he just fell through a wormhole. You know what I'm saying? So he musters up the strength. He gathers his board, and he tells the reader basically, yeah, this will be a long trip to get to that planet if I were any other person in the universe. But since he has the power cosmic and he is the Silver Surfer, he is able to fly there in no time flat because he's our boy, the Silver Surfer. And there you go. And you see that's the planet right there. He's just floating in front of that planet. Grabs up his board and then shoots off into the stars. So our boy's basically he's trying to gather up all his mental facilities, and by this time he's already been through all that craziness. You know what I'm saying? It's a moment for us, but for him it's been like eons. Okay, guys. But he finally crash lands on this planet, and boom! As soon as he crashes on this planet, he states, it smells like decay and death here, and metal, right? So I just like that description because you could smell metal. You know what I'm saying? I could smell metal sometimes. You guys ever been around a welder? They burning and melting metal. It's got like a certain scent to it. You know what I'm saying? And if you ever been around death, it's gross. But whatever. You know what I'm saying? I digress. But as he crashes down in this planet, he crashes basically right in front of this large door with 3 guards in front of it. And these 3 guards, these 3 sentries, they're just standing there. And you see this door, and I'm going to show you this like this because it has to be shown like that. And then you got these 3 guards just standing there right in front of him. So basically, Silver Surfer tells him, he asks him for help because he needs help. There's no one there that's able to help him out. You know what I'm saying? So he says, oh my gosh, living beings, I'm going to ask them for help. You know what I'm saying? But as he goes on and he explains, he talks to them and he asks them, is there a master here? But these things, these 3 guards, these 3 sentries, they start talking an ancient alien language that he's probably, he's basically like, wait, I know this language, but it's very rusty. You know what I mean? I'm saying he's very rusty with this language, but he understands some of the language that they are speaking. Then he goes on to explain that they are part of a lost pantheon of gods that used to exist in the ancient universe. You know what I'm saying? Before everything else. But as he goes on to ask them, what God do you talk about? Because they're talking about that they serve God. And he goes to ask him, he says, what God? And then all of a sudden, boom, they just start attacking him, all three of these sentries. And he gets crushed by the first sentry, but he basically shoots up while he's grabbing it. He shoots his beams right behind his back, and he shoots it all out of the way, and he's battling these guys left and right. But they ain't got nothing on him, because if he was any other ordinary man, he would have been bested on here. But he's using his Silver Surfer, is using his board as basically his partner in crime to help fight these dudes off. You know what I'm saying? So as we continue on in the story, they actually, and you got to admit, this art is just gorgeous. And you see that door, it just goes on and on and on, all the way up to the sky. You know what I mean? Right there. And then the surfer basically lands. They think they got him. They grab him with the ground and all their little powers and stuff like that. But he breaks through all that, and he tells them, "Hey, yield. Let's stop. Let's not do this fighting. This is your last chance." And he's telling them, you know what I'm saying, just relax, because you know it's Silver Surfer, and he's changed, and he doesn't want to kill people. You know what I'm saying? He wants to help people, and they all of a sudden they take, and one of the guards basically got him pinned down, and then all of a sudden this black, just gooey stuff just starts to swallow him up, almost like sand trap, where he starts going in, and all you see is his one arm going in there, and he's drowning in these shadows, and he's overwhelmed and suffocated by the dark, and as you could tell, he starts to go down. He starts to go down. Right there. But you see that last little hand right there going up. And he basically ignites a small star. He brightens up the whole place because, you know, remember, he's in a dark place. And that bright star that ignites in his hands, because he has a power cosmic, he's able to do that. He basically just blasts those three sentries out the way. He knocks them out. They're knocked unconscious. He's out of this black goo, but some of this black goo basically grabs a hold of him. And you can see right here where the black goo starts to retreat, except for some of it stuck on his hands. So now he's about to go through something new that he's never expected before. He's standing in front of this door. Meanwhile, his conscience is telling him this is something that you should stay away from, Norrin Rad. You know what I'm saying? You should not be near this door. But his curiosity basically kind of gets the best of him, because he's still standing in front of his door, even though his senses are telling him, hey, back up. Don't go check. It's like when we're at the movies and you're watching this girl and she's like, and you're like, run, and she don't run, and you're like, run, and she don't run. But you know what I'm saying? And he's still standing there, and then all of a sudden this black goo hand just comes out and snatches him up by the face and snatches him into the door. And then boom, Norrin Rad is inside the big black door that he was standing at. And it's none other than the symbiote god, Null, who has met the Silver Surfer at the edge of the door. So now, basically, Null tells him, I am Null, and you may call me God. Until the next episode, or until the next issue of Silver Surfer Black, we won't know what's going on and how Silver Surfer is going to handle this situation. But that battle right there in Silver Surfer Black #1. If you guys want to go ahead and check it out, go to your local comic book store, snatch up a copy. I suggest you do. If you like the cosmic side of Marvel comic books, which I'm a fan of, you should go ahead and try it out, check it out, and see if you like it. And once again, this book is written by Donny Cates, the art and I guess penciling as well, by Tradmore and David Stewart. And yeah, go ahead and get you a copy of Silver Surfer Black. And we will go over #2 very soon, I promise you. And we'll see where our boy Norrin Radd ends up at the end of this. So stay tuned for the next episode of Titans Review. I'm glad you guys finally came back again to check out my new video. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my videos if you like the content. If you are able to, please subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. I have to get to 1,000 subscribers, so it's up to you guys, my audience, to help me out. So you can go ahead and press the subscribe button. If you can, go ahead and like and share my videos. I appreciate it once again, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out.